कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री साधु गौर भक्त वृंद, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री स्वाति गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Giriraj Prabhu, should we start?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
Nana
Prabhu.
Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji. Let me made you host. So we can.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, done, Mataji.
Okay,
Yeah,
Prabhuji, thank you.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna.
I'll start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Mataji, Standard Pranam. We'll start the Adi Lila 14.52. All the girls became very angry at the Lord for this behavior. Dear Nimai, they told him, you are just like our brother in our village relationship. Therefore, it does not behoove you to act like this. Don't take our paraphernalia for worship of the demigods. Don't create a disturbance in this way. The Lord replied, my dear sisters, I give you the benediction that your husbands will be very handsome. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They'll be learned, clever, and young, and possess abundant wealth and rice. Not only that, but you will each have 7 sons, who will all live long lives and be very intelligent. Purport. Generally, it is the ambition of a young girl to have a very handsome husband who is learned, clever, young, and rich. According to the Vedic culture, one is rich if he possesses a large stock of food grain and a very large number of animals. Dhanyena dhanavan, gavaya dhanavan. One is rich if he possesses food grains, cows, and bulls. A girl also desires to have many children, especially sons, putra, who are very intelligent and long-lived. Now, because society has deteriorated, there is propaganda to have 1 or 2 children and kill the rest by contraceptive methods. But the natural ambition of a girl is to possess not only more than 1 child, but at least half a dozen. In exchange for the paraphernalia of worship, he usurped for himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to bless the girls to fulfill all their ambitions and desires. One can easily become happy and obtain the material benefits of a good husband, wealth, food grain, and a number of nice children by worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasa at an early age, it is not necessary for his devotees to follow him by also taking sannyasa. One can stay a householder, but one must be a devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then one will be happy. With all the material opulences of a good home, good children, good mate, good wealth, and everything he desires. Therefore, the Shastras advise Yagya Sankirtana Prayer Yajantihi Sumedhasa. Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Every householder, therefore, who is actually intelligent should introduce the Sankirtana movement home to home and live peacefully in this life and go back to Godhead in the next. Hare Krishna. Samyukta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Hearing this benediction from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the girls were inwardly very happy. But externally, as is natural for girls, they rebuked the Lord under the pretense of anger. Purport. This double dealing is natural for girls. When they are satisfied within, they externally show dissatisfaction. Such feminine dealings are very palatable to boys who try to make friendships with them.
Please continue.
Yes, Mataji. When some of the girls fled, the Lord called them in anger and advised them as follows. Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Translation. If you are miserly and do not give me the offerings, every one of you will have an old husband with at least 4 co-wives. Purport. In India, in those days and even until 50 years ago, polygamy was freely allowed. Any man, especially of the higher caste, the Brahmanas, the Vaishyas, and particularly the Kshatriyas, could marry more than 1 wife. In the Mahabharata or the old history of India, we see that Kshatriya kings especially used to marry many wives. According to Vedic civilization, there was no restriction against this, and even a man more than 50 years old could marry. But to be married to a man who had many wives was not a very pleasing situation, because the husband's love would be divided among his many wives. To punish the girls unwilling to offer him the Naivedya, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu apparently wanted to curse them to be married to men who had at least 4 wives. The social structure allowing a man to marry more than 1 wife can be supported in this way. Generally, in every society, the female population is greater in number than the male population. Therefore, if it is a principle in the society that all girls should be married unless polygamy is allowed, it will not be possible. If all the girls are not married, there is a good chance of adultery, and a society in which adultery is allowed cannot be very peaceful or pure. In our Krishna consciousness society, we have restricted illicit sex. The practical difficulty is to find a husband for each and every girl. We are therefore in favor of polygamy, provided, of course, that the husband is able to maintain more than one wife. Hare Krishna. Mataji, polygamy and ten Mataji?
More than one wife, Mataji.
Andena
Polygamy అంటే
Mataji?
మల్టిపుల్
బహుభార్య తత్వం అంటారు కదా, చాలా మంది పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడం.
Okay, thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
థ్యాంక్ యూ మాతాజీ. లావణ్య మాతాజీ చదువుతారా?
మాతాజీ నా స్క్రీన్ కనబడట్లే మాతాజీ, అది నెట్ అయ్యింది.
ఓకే మాతాజీ. ఎప్పుడైతే మీకు స్క్రీన్ కనబడుతుందో ఒకసారి దాంట్లో మెసేజ్ పెట్టేస్తారా?
ఓకే మాతాజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు చదువుతారా?
Yes, Mataji. Hearing this supposed curse by Lord Chaitanya, the girls, considering that he might know something uncommon or be empowered by demigods, were afraid that his curse might be effective. The girls then brought the offerings before the Lord, who ate them all and blessed the girls to their satisfaction. Translation: when this cunning behavior of the Lord with the girls became known to the people in general, it did not create misunderstandings among them. Rather, they enjoyed happiness in these dealings. Thank you, Mataji.
చెప్పండి ప్రభు.
Hare Krishna. Yes, translation. One day, a girl of the name Lakshmi, the daughter of Vallabhacharya, came to the bank of the Ganges to take a bath in the river and worship the demigods. Purport. According to Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 45, Lakshmi was formerly Janaki, the wife of Lord Ramachandra, and Rukmini, the wife of Lord Sri Krishna in Dwaraka. The same goddess of fortune as descended as Lakshmi to become the wife of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation. Seeing Lakshmi Devi, the Lord became attached to her, and Lakshmi, upon seeing the Lord, felt great satisfaction within her mind.
Please continue.
Translation. Their natural love for each other awakened, and although it was covered by childhood emotions, it became apparent that they were mutually attracted. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lakshmi Devi are eternal husband and wife. Therefore, it was quite natural for their dormant love to awaken when they saw each other. Their natural feelings were immediately awakened by their meeting. Translation. They both enjoyed natural pleasure in seeing each other, and under the pretext of demigod worship, they manifested their feelings. Hare Krishna.
లావణ్య మాతాజీ కనబడుతుందా?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The Lord told Lakshmi, just worship me, for I am the Supreme Lord. If you worship me, certainly you will get the benediction you desire. Purport. This is the same philosophy declared by Lord Krishna himself. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. People do not understand this. They are accustomed to flattering or worshipping many demigods, human beings, or even cats and dogs. But when requested to worship the Supreme Lord, they refuse. This is called illusion. Factually, if one worships the Supreme Lord, there is no need to worship anyone else. For example, in a village of a limited area, one may use different wells for different purposes. But when one goes to a river where there is water constantly flowing in waves, that water can serve all his purposes. When there is a river, one can take drinking water, wash his clothes, bathe on, and so on. For that water will serve all purposes. Similarly, if one worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, all his goals will be achieved. Kamaistatai Prithagnana Prapadyante Anya Devata. Only men who have lost their intelligence worship the various demigods to fulfill their desires. Bhagavad Gita 7.20. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you, Mataji. Translation. On hearing the order of the Supreme Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lakshmi immediately worshipped him, offering sandalwood pulp and flowers for his body, garlanding him with mallika flowers, and offering prayers. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Being worshipped by Lakshmi, the Lord began to smile. He recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam and thus accepted the emotion she expressed. The verse quoted in this connection is the 25th verse of the 22nd chapter, 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The gopis worshipped goddess Durga or Katyayani, but their inner desire was to get Lord Krishna as their husband. Krishna, as Paramatma, could realize the ardent desire of the gopis, and therefore he enjoyed the pastime of Vastraharana. When the gopis went to bathe in the river Yamuna, they left their garments on the land and dipped into the water completely naked. Taking this opportunity, Krishna stole all their garments and sat down in the top of a tree with them, desiring to see the girls naked just to become their husband. The gopis desired to have Krishna as their husband, and since it is only before her husband that a woman can be naked, to fulfill their desire, Lord Krishna accepted their prayers by this pastime of stealing their garments. When the gopis received their garments back from Krishna, Krishna recited this verse. Which verse is it? Okay. Samyukta Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Translation. My dear gopis, I accept your desire to have me as your husband and thus worship me. I wish your desire to be fulfilled because it deserves to be so. But the gopis, the girlfriends of Krishna, were almost of the same age as he. Within their minds, they desired that Krishna be their husband. But because of feminine bashfulness, they could not express their desire. Therefore, later on, after stealing their garments, Krishna informed them, I immediately understood your desire and approved of it. Because I have now stolen your garments, you have presented yourself before me completely naked, which means that I have accepted all of you as my wives. Sometimes foolish rascals, not knowing the purpose of the Lord or the purpose of the gopis, unnecessarily criticize from their own angle of vision. But the real purpose of Vastraharana is expressed by the Lord in this verse.
Lalit Mohan Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Translation. After thus expressing their feelings to each other, Lord Chaitanya and Lakshmi returned home. Who can understand the grave pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? When the neighboring people saw the naughty behavior of Lord Chaitanya, out of love for him, they lodged complaints with Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra. One day, Mother Shachi went to catch her son, wanting to rebuke him, but he fled from the spot. Should I go ahead, Mataji, or
Yes,
someone
Prabhu.
else?
Please continue.
Translation. Although he is the maintainer of the entire universe, once the Lord sat upon some rejected pots in the pit where the remnants of food were thrown after the pots had been used for cooking. Purport. Formerly, it was a custom of Brahmanas to worship Lord Vishnu daily at home and cook food in new pots. This system is still going on in Jagannath Puri. The food would be cooked in earthen pots, all fresh and new. And after cooking, the pots would be thrown away. By the side of the house, there was generally a big pit where such pots were thrown. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down on the pots very pleasingly, just to give his mother a lesson. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Sapan Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Translation. When Mother Sachi Devi saw her boy sitting on the rejected pots, she protested, "Why have you touched these untouchable pots? You have now become impure. Go and bathe in the Ganges." Translation. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his mother about absolute knowledge. Although amazed by this, his mother forced him to take a bath. Purport. The absolute knowledge explained by the Lord to his mother is described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Amrita Pravaha Bhashya as follows. The Lord said, "Mother, that this is pure and that is impure is solely a worldly sentiment with no basis in fact. You have cooked food for Lord Vishnu within these pots and offered the food to him. How can these pots be untouchable? Everything in relationship with Vishnu is considered an expansion of Vishnu's energy. The super soul is eternal and uncontaminated. How then may these pots be considered impure or impure? Hearing this discourse on absolute knowledge, his mother was very much astonished and forced him to take a bath. Hare Krishna.
Lavanya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, translation. Sometimes taking her son with her, Mother Sachi would lie down on her bed and she would see the denizens of the celestial world had come there, filling the entire house. Once Mother Sachi told Lord, please go call your father. Receiving this order from his mother, the Lord went out to call him. When the child was going out, there was a twinkling of ankle bells from his lotus feet. Hearing this, his father and mother were struck with wonder. Yeah. Jagannath Mishra said, this is a very wonderful incident. Why is there a sound of ankle bells from the bare foot of my child? Mother Sachi said, I also saw another wonder. People were coming down from the celestial kingdom and crowding the entire courtyard. Can I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
They made noisy sounds I could not understand. I guess they were offering prayers to someone.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes.
Jagannath Mishra replied, never mind what it is. There is no need to worry. Let there always be good fortune for Vishwambhara. This is all I want. On another occasion, Jagannath Mishra, seeing the mischievous acts of his son, gave him lessons in morality after rebuking him greatly. On that very night, Jagannath Mishra dreamt that a Brahmana had come before him speaking these words in great anger. My dear Mishra, you do not know anything about your son. You think him your son, and therefore you rebuke and chastise him. Jagannath Mishra replied, this boy may be a demigod or a mystic yogi or a great saintly person. It doesn't matter what he is, for I think he is only my son. It is a duty of a father to educate his son in both religion and morality. If I do not give him this education, how will he know of it? The Brahmana replied, if your son is a transcendental mystic boy with self-effulgent perfect knowledge, what is the use of your education? Purport. The Brahmana Jagannath Mishra saw in his dream, told him that his son was not an ordinary human being. If he were a transcendental person, he would have self-effulgent knowledge, and thus there would be no need to educate him. Hare Krishna. Samyukta Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Jagannath Mishra replied, even if my son is not a common man, but Narayana, still it is the duty of a father to instruct his son. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. In this way, Jagannath Mishra and the Brahmana discussed the principles of religion in the dream. Yet Jagannatha Mishra was absorbed in unalloyed parental mellow and did not want to know anything else. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.45, it is said, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped with exalted hymns by all the Vedas and Upanishads and by great personalities through Sankhya Yoga, in the mode of goodness, was considered by Mother Yashoda and Nanda to be their own little son. Similarly, Jagannatha Mishra also considered Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu his beloved little boy, although he is worshipped with all veneration by learned Brahmanas and saintly persons. Hare Krishna.
Lalitman Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Translation: being very pleased, the Brahmana left after talking with Jagannath Mishra. And when Jagannath Mishra awakened from his dream, he was very much astonished. Translation. He related the dream to his friends and relatives, and every one of them was very much astonished to hear of it. Translation. In this way, Gaurahari performed his childhood pastimes and day after day increased the pleasure of his parents. Thank you, Mataji.
You can read this also, Prabhuji.
Okay. Translation. After some days, Jagannath Mishra inaugurated the primary education of his son by performing the Hate Khadi ceremony. Within a very few days, the Lord learned all letters and combinations of letters. Purport. The 12 phala or combinations of letters are called Refa, Murdhanya, Cerebral, Na, Dantavya, Dental, Na, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Ra, R, La. And one, what is this? Hate Khadi is,
I don't know what that is.
okay. Hate Khadi is the primary educational beginning at the age of 4 or 5 years on an auspicious day called Vidyarambha, marking the beginning of primary education. This is ceremony worshipping Lord Vishnu. And after that, the teacher gives the child a long chalk pencil. Then, guiding the hand of the student, he instructs him how to write the letter of the alphabet, A, E, etc. by writing big letters on the floor. When the child is a little advanced in writing, he is given a slate for his primary education, which ends when he learns the two-letter combinations, which are called phala, as mentioned earlier. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Sapan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Translation. This is a synopsis of the childhood pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, placed here in chronological order. Vrindavana Dasa Thakura has already elaborately explained these pastimes in his book Chaitanya Bhagavata. Translation. I have therefore made only a brief summary. Being afraid of repetition, I have not elaborated upon this subject matter. Translation. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Purport. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila, 14th chapter, describing Lord Chaitanya's childhood pastimes. So what age range is this, Prabhuji, at this time?
5.
5 years, okay. So last week or sometime back you mentioned about the age ranges, right? Up to 16 years was one, then another 8 years, then another 8 years, and another 16 years. Is that right?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji.
16, 8, 8, 16.
See, actually, it is till 24 he will be at one place, and from 24 he will take sannyas and he will go.
Okay, because in different age groups, right, like up to 16, then up to 24, up to 32, and up to 48, his purpose was different, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Means like it is said that his life is divided in such a way that in first 24 hours, 24 years, all these things happened. His family life and his education, and he will be the greatest scholar in the Navadvipa. All these things will happen. And then comes, what I say, from 24, he will go away for preaching. Like, we will come to that also, Prabhuji, like Chandkasi. He will have one duel with Chandkasi, and then he starts public preaching from them. That 6 years. He will preach 6 years in Navadvipa. And after that, he will move to Puri, Jagannath Puri. And just after reaching Puri, he will start South India Yatra, 6 years again. And the last 18 years, he will only be in Jagannath Puri with his close associates. no much preaching, anything. But those 18 years are very much significant because he wanted to show to the world how the Vaishnava relations are very much important in for a devotee to advance in his life. He will only meet he will have some 68 confident devotees then Prabhuji. Last 18 years. Generally those 18 years are very considered. In any of the preachers' movement, the advanced ages are considered more precious actually. They will completely dedicate to Lord and they will completely dedicate to the preaching of the message of the Lord and all those things. But Mahaprabhu wanted to show that relations between the Vaishnavas are the utmost important thing for us to cross over this material world. And that is the reason why 18 years of his age is only dedicated to, close, confident devotees. Means in our, in our early life in Krishna consciousness also, Prabhuji, when we were together, like all our basemates, our college mates were together, this point is very much emphasized. You will get a lot of devotees, Prabhuji. You will get a lot of devotees in Krishna consciousness or in this material world. To be frank, because Krishna will provide you that facility. But the intelligence which we should have is, we should have a like-minded devotees, Prabhuji. That is also that much important. When you have nothing, it's okay to have a devotee, but you have some association, just have a like-minded association, Prabhuji. If you have that 80% of your life now gone, both of you will go. But having a like-minded devotee is very much important. And that is what is emphasized in the last 18 years of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he don't want to, mingle with others, mainly because of this thing, Prabhuji. This is very, very important. Huh? Having a like-minded devotee is more important than having a devotee. If you have an association. If you don't have any association, having any devotee is very good. But once you have an association, associate with those people who has your nature. Understood, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm sorry. You asked a very small question. I have just dragged it to very to a different.
No. I mean, yeah, we read this, but I forgot that duration, like 24, 6, 6, and 18. So I forgot the duration. So yeah, you refreshed it. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji, what do we do? Should we start with Brahma Samhita?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Are we practicing yesterday's too, or are we starting new ones? Hare Krishna.
అంటే ఎవరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయలేదో వాళ్ళు ఒకసారి చేయమంటే సరిపోతుంది మాతాజీ. సో we can get refreshment. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody wants to do these two?
I'll do Mataji.
Yeah, please do, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Sri Brahma Samhita 5.46. दीपार्चिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतु समानधर्मा यस्थादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि दीपार्चिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतु समानधर्मा यस्थादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि 5.47 यः कारणार्णवजले भजाति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्डसरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यः कारणार्णवजले भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्डसरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Yes, Mataji.
ఇంకెవరైనా చేస్తారా? హరే కృష్ణ.
Yeah, we'll move to 48, Mataji then. Okay.
Yes. Please start.
Okay, Mataji. Yasyaikanishvasitakalamatavalambya 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 Shall we practice it more?
Yes,
Yes,
Yasyaikanishvasitakalamatavalambya 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 Nishvasita, na? Nishvasita, that should be separated a bit. Okay. Yasyaikanishvasitakalamatavalambya Just a minute, Mataji. Yesterday there was a Subramania Shashti here, Mataji. So all the train horn, all the horns came to home. I'm sorry. Okay. Yasyaikanishvasitakalamatavalambya Will you practice or shall we go ahead with the next?
Yeah, we can go ahead with the next prayer.
Okay. Jivantiloma vilaja jagadandanatha
जीवन्तिलोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथा
Jivantiloma vilaja jagadandanatha Jivantiloma vilaja jagadandanatha Is it okay or shall we go ahead?
Yes, Babaji.
Vishnu Mahan Saihayasya Kala Vishesho Vishnu Mahan Saihayasya Kala Vishesho Vishnu Mahan Saihayasya Kala Vishesho Shall we do it more? Because it is a bit tricky, small, lightly. Sahihayasya Kala Vishesho. There, na? Let us practice 3 more times. Okay. Vishnu Mahan Sahihayasya Kala Vishesho Vishnu Mahan Sahiyasya Kala Vishesho Vishnu Mahan Sahiyasya Kala Vishesho Vishnu Mahan Sahiyasya Kala Vishesho
विष्णुर्महान्यस्य कलाविशेषो
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
तमहं
हरि बोल माताजी लावण्य माताजी
మాతాజీ చాలా లాగ్ ఉంది మీ దాంట్లో
ఒకసారి ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ కొంచెం లాగ్ ఉంది మాతాజీ Okay, now I do the whole shloka 3 times. Okay, please repeat. Yasyaikanishvasitakalamatavalambya जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कला विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यस्यैकनिष्ठसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यस्यैकनिष्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स यस्य कला विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यस्यैकनिष्ठसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यस्यैकनिष्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स यस्य कला विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यस्यैकनिष्ठसितकालमथावलम्ब्य
जीवन्ति लोम विलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कला विशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
Okay, one by one.
Yes, sir. यस्यैकनिष्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, Mataji. Anyone else? The next one.
यस्यैकनिस्वसितकालमदावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाद विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Haribol, perfect room.
Haribol.
यस्यैकनिष्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Perfect, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
यस्यैवासितकालम् अथाव्यलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
ప్రభు ఫస్ట్ లైన్ ఒకసారి అథావ్య అని అంటున్నారు, అథావలంబ్య అంతే సరే. ఎనీవన్ ఎల్స్?
లావణ్య మాతాజీ చేస్తారా?
మాతాజీ ఇంటర్నెట్ రావట్లే మాతాజీ.
అవునా, ఓకే. ఇంకెవరున్నారు? రాజు ప్రభు ఇంకా హియరింగ్ మోడ్ లో ఉన్నారా?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, today, I mean, లేదు అసలు.
నో ప్రాబ్లం ప్రభు. అదే అంటే మళ్ళీ మీకు ఛాన్స్ ఇవ్వకుండా ముందుకు వెళ్ళిపోకుండా.
లేదు Mataji.
Mataji and Prabhuji, I just wanted to repeat this again one by one. Okay, by the meantime, within 1 minute I'll be back. Okay, please. Okay. Just repeat it.
Okay. Let's all together keep doing it. यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्तिलोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्तिलोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमथावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदण्डनाथा विष्णुर्महान् स इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
Okay, shall we go ahead with the next?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry for editing. भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा
भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा
भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा
भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा।
Okay, here except Bhaswan is Swa, all the others S's are Sha. Okay. Bhaswan yatashma shakaleshu nijeshu teja.
भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा।
भास्वान् यथाश्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा।
भास्वान् यथा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा।
Shall we go ahead for 3 more times? With 3 more times or
enough?
Enough.
This one is simple.
Sha 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 sa sha sha sha. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sviyam kiyat prakatayatyapi tadvadatra.
Sviyam kiyat prakatayatyapi tadvadatra.
Okay, Mataji. We will.
ప్రభుజీ ఫస్ట్ లైన్ ఒకసారి చెప్పరా, నేను ఇప్పుడే జాయిన్ అయ్యా.
స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర.
స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర. స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర.
స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర.
స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర.
హరి బోల్. స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర.
स्वीयं कियत्
यं यत्
प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
तద్ దగ్గర విడగొట్టేయండి వదత్ర ఓకే స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
స్వీయం కియత్ ప్రకటయత్యపి తద్వదత్ర
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
Shall we do for 3 more times?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
स्वीयं कियत्
प्रकटयत्यपि
वदत्र
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र
स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि
ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
ब्रह्माययेष
जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Now the whole shloka 3 times. Okay, please repeat after me. This is a bit tricky shloka, so it might take some time. No issues. We'll go ahead for tomorrow also if needed. Okay. भास्वान् यथाश्म शकलेषु निजेषु तेजः स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
भास्वान् यथाश्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्ता ब्रह्मा एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं भजामि.
भास्वान् यथास्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेज स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
भास्वान् यथाश्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्ता ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
भास्वान् यथाश्म शकलेषु निजेषु तेज स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्माययेष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
भास्वान् यथाश्मशकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्ता ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Please go individually.
भास्वान् यथाश्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
फर्स्ट टाइम उत्तर मई चलो
प्रभुजी
फर्स्ट टाइम उत्तर मई चलो
यस प्रभुजी। भास्वान् यथास्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा।
यस माताजी అంటే ఫస్ట్ టైం చదివినప్పుడు యథాస్మ అన్నారు అది యథాశ్మ ఓకే
यस प्रभु
ఓకే హరే కృష్ణ
ओके
Yeah, I'll try, Prabhuji.
మేలు మాతాజీ గో హెడ్ మాతాజీ తెలుగులో వచ్చేసింది అదే పదం సారీ
5.49 बाष्वान्यताश्म निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
यस माताजी
भास्वान् यथास्म सकलेषु नित्येषु तेजा स्वीयं कियात् प्रकटत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्ड विधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
सेकंड लाइन प्रभु మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చేస్తారా
यस प्रभुजी स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा
यस प्रभु सर శ్లోకాంతో చేయండి మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి
ओके प्रभुजी भास्वान् यथास्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
यस प्रभु परफेक्ट माताजी
भास्वान् यथास्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
सॉरी प्रभु आई फॉरगॉट यू थैंक यू गुड वेरी गुड
हरे कृष्ण।
भास्वान् यथाश्म शकलेषु निजेषु तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्रा ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि।
हरि बोल जय महाराज गुड so what is the time now 8:57 shall we go for the next one also
Probably we can do one.
we will try it and we'll do tomorrow also okay.
Yes yeah
यत् पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
यत् पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
यत् पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा
वन्दे प्रणाम समये सगणाधिराज
द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समये सगणाधिराज
वन्दे प्रणाम समये सगणाधिराज
द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समये
द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समये सगणाधिराज
वन्दे
प्रणाम समये सगणाधिराजा
विज्ञान विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
विज्ञानविहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
विज्ञान विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
विज्ञान विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं
भजामि
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराज विज्ञान विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये
प्रणामसमयस्य
विघ्नानमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराज विज्ञान विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराज विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं
तमहं भजामि
One more time. यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराज विज्ञान विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Please go ahead one by one.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, Prabhu. Jagattrayasya. Rendu కలిపి చదవాలి. Jagattrayasya. Next.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा वन्दे प्रणामसमयेसगणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, ma'am. Perfect.
Thank you.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये न गणाधिराजा विज्ञान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Second line, Prabhu. మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చదవండి.
द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराजा
वन्दे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराज
द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराजा.
ఇప్పుడు బాగా వచ్చింది. ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ చదువుతారా మొత్తం?
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये सगणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तु मलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Good, Prabhu. Really good. Kapan, Prabhu?
పిలిచారా ప్రభుజీ?
చేస్తారా?
ఎస్ ప్రభుజీ. యత్పాదపల్లవయుగం వినిధాయ కుంభా द्वन्द्वे प्रणाम समये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, Prabhu. Perfect. Mataji.
Lavanya Mataji.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Brahma Samhita 5.50. यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिदाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చదువుదామని మర్చిపోయాను.
Sorry.
यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिदाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Yes, Mataji. Deepa Mataji.
Yes, यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि.
Okay, Mataji. Perfect. We will end the call, Mataji.
Yes,
it's already 9. Okay.
All of us finished. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद बुक रीडिंग की जय. श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. हरे कृष्णा. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.